Am I the asshole not helping my assigned roommate with his child? And responding with a mean comment. I, 30F, moved into a 2-bedroom place with the understanding that the landlord would be assigning another roommate at some point. I didn't really like this much, but I didn't have a choice since housing is so hard to find where I am, especially when you're trans. One morning a week ago I was woken up by the roommate, 20s moving in. I would have liked some notice, but whatever. What was really a problem was that he had a small kid. I really didn't like this but had no choice to accept it. I have a really big room with a bathroom, so I could deal with just isolating myself away from the rest of the house. The problems started immediately. Roommate let his kid use my microwave and he just exploded a mysterious substance all over it. I was horrified and demanded the roommate clean it up, but he said he was too tired from parenting, so I cleaned it up and put it in my room as well as all my other appliances. My room has the space, and while it's not ideal, I could fit my fridge, microwave, toaster, etc. all in there with a bit of creative setting up. He really didn't like this though and demanded I put the stuff back out in the kitchen. I refused and told him to get his own appliances for the kid to destroy. He said he couldn't afford to. I said not my problem and went back into my room and locked it. Today I was woken up to him knocking loudly on my door. I was kind of fucking terrified by this strange aggressive man behaving like that, so I texted him asking what he wanted. He said he needed me to watch his demon for the day because of a family emergency. I said no because I had plans, scheduled event in an MMO, so I couldn't cancel without letting a lot of people down. He kept insisting, so I just turned my phone off and ignored him. I don't know how that situation resolved itself, but shortly after I got a call from the landlord asking if I could help with the kid more because the tenant is trying to break the lease over it. I said no, I'm not a live-in babysitter. He agreed in the end and said that he wouldn't make the mistake of letting a kid live in the house again. I thanked him and we ended the call. Just now I needed to grab something of mine from the living room and roommate was there looking distraught. I tried to ignore him but he just yelled at me, "What kind of so-called woman are you?" That really pissed me off, so I said what kind of so-called man needs a live-in mommy to wrangle his kid and went back to my room. I felt a little bit bad about that comment, but I felt that his transphobic comment was really uncalled for, so I snapped. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole, he is a shitty father and expected a stranger to parent his kid for him because sexism. Not the asshole. That's absolutely crazy. I'm really confused about a landlord just assigning a roommate. Is this some university-type setup? Wow. Not the asshole. There's a huge difference between expecting a roommate and expecting a man plus a child. That's not right that your landlord lumped you both together without notice. I have a lot to say, but simply put, he's sexist for using your gender identity as a reason why you have to be an unpaid live-in babysitter that provides the household appliances. What in the actual hell? The sense of entitlement is beyond me. Not the asshole. What kind of person is okay leaving their kid alone with some person that they barely know? You're a random roommate, not a partner or a live-in nanny. You owe him and his kid nothing, and him expecting any of this is beyond ridiculous. So, the landlord called you and actually asked you to help with this kid, because the roommate was trying to break his lease over it? What was this roommate promised in his lease? Because this makes me wonder if the landlord told this guy there was another roommate living there that was providing appliances and could help him out with childcare, and he got neither of those things, hence why he seems visibly upset and is trying to break the lease. Not the asshole. You are not obliged to watch some stranger's child. Not your problem. Questioning your womanhood over his own failings is out of line. Not the asshole. You should have just told him, not my circus, not my monkeys. Fair play on your comment though, some kids do need wrangling. Lol, he'd known you for what, a day and was expecting you to babysit at short notice for free. At least he didn't wait long before showing his true colors. I hope you have better luck with your next roommate. Not the asshole. This doesn't even sound real. Not the asshole. I imagine this young man is in a tough spot. But you have no obligation to take care of his kid. He doesn't even know you. You could be a child cannibal for all he knows. He shouldn't be asking you to watch his child. You moved the refrigerator into your room because something overflowed in the microwave. Not the asshole, he needs to arrange for childcare. The fact he tries to force someone, through guilt, to take care of his kid shows you the kind of person he is. You're nicer than me. The moment that kid started trouble, would be the moment I would call the landlord. Since the landlord allowed for him to move in, he can deal with it. Not the asshole at all. You were 100% right in all of these situations. Not a single tenant ever went to a lease signing and asked, by the way, is there a babysitting for strangers clause in the lease? Because that's not a thing. He's got some nerve. And so does the landlord. Oof. It's hard, but I think everyone could be handling this better. The landlord definitely has no right to call you. The roommate had no right to call the landlord either, though. You aren't alive and nanny. The hardest one is op. You needed to voice your concern right away. If that wasn't a part of the lease, then you should have established that you didn't like it. Then when the kid exploded something in the microwave, that sucks, but that's a kid. You should have confronted your roommate sooner and more clearly. You felt uneasy when the kid showed up and are surprised when you try to ignore it and it's not an ignorable presence. Not the asshole. Holy crap, this guy is one entitled idiot, and so is your landlord. Some balls with him getting involved and trying to convince you to help with the kid. Not the asshole. The entitlement of that guy. I feel sorry for the kid. Not the asshole. Not your job. Not your prob. Seriously, how entitled is he? Thinks you are just obligated to watch his kid? Not the asshole. Welcome to womanhood. That statement has been said to women who are not interested in taking care of random kids through history. It was a sexist comment, not transphobic. Not the asshole. Know your kid, not your responsibility. I don't think his comment was transphobic. The way he said it, so-called woman, was something cis women are told regularly, women who don't follow gender norms of stereotypical housewife and mothering roles, so he may just be degrading you for being a woman not willing to give into those expected gender norms. Unless he said something additionally that you didn't want to include. However, you're not the asshole, doesn't matter your gender, you don't expect a stranger to watch your child and clean up after them. Am I the only one who thinks it's a kid, not a demon? The only problem you listed was him messing up the microwave, which, fair. The transphobic comment was out of order, but you said he looked distraught. It was a family emergency. I don't think he was looking for child care. Just he was desperate. I mean, I feel like this is one of those Reddit situations where yes, you're objectively in the right, but don't you have a bit of empathy at all? An MMO is an online game, right? Couldn't you play it still while just keeping an eye on the kid in your room? Not the asshole. What kind of weirdo leaves their kid with a practical stranger? I'm not even sure his comment was transphobic so much as plain old sexist. He expected that you, as a woman, would automatically want to take care of a kid, because hey, isn't that what we're for? But you're absolutely right not to help, that's not your responsibility at all. Your roommate is the asshole, and frankly so is your landlord for even asking you to help your roommate. Not the asshole. Should have said, let me clear that with my parole officer. Last I knew, I wasn't allowed to be around kids, but maybe that changed. Say it with me, you're not obligated to help with someone else's responsibilities, they're not your kids. Wow. You are significant other, not the asshole. It's so gross when men try to pull this shit with women. Not the asshole. As an aside, I don't know why so many comments think the so-called woman slur assume it's an exclusively transphobic insult. I've had that chucked at me loads of times just because I don't have and don't want kids, because that's all women are, baby factories and caregivers. All the little ladies just love kids. This guy was just a sexist asshole prick. Transphobic? No. You're not entitled to care for a kid that isn't yours. Not the asshole, but I don't think it was intentionally transphobic. I think more misogynistic than anything. I think he meant, you're a woman, why wouldn't you naturally want to look after a kid? Sounds like the guy is struggling, and it's a bit unusual for a guy to be solely looking after a kid, but he's not exactly going about gaining allies for his situation the right way. Not the asshole. This is sexist, but it's also just plain bad parenting. Who leaves their kid with a complete stranger? You've known them for less than a week, it sounds like you haven't really gotten to know each other, and he wants to leave his kids with you. I don't even think you were that harsh, you just had a good comeback to his asshole comment. I wish I could think of comebacks that quickly when I'm angry. Not the asshole. This guy out the gate expected you to do your womanly duties and take care of his kid despite you being a stranger. He's insane to expect that from anyone, let alone someone he's just met. The audacity. Did he think this was some arranged parenting that you signed up for? Unbelievable. Edit to say landlord is a complete asshole for asking you to help out also. Him doing so leads me to believe he upsold the living situation by saying there's a woman in the house that would help out. I'd be calling him back and asking if that's the case, and if so ask for a discount on rent or a new roommate. If crappy dad can threaten to break lease, you can too. Did any of this actually happen? It all seems very strange. Not the asshole. What kind of father asks someone he barely met to watch his kid? Not the asshole. And if he stays, I'd be telling the landlord that I want the rent reduced due to the hostile environment he's allowing. You no longer feel safe to use the common areas. Not the asshole. What kind of woman are you? One that's better than your sorry ass will ever get. Not the asshole, but I fail to understand why his comment is transphobic. Not the asshole. What kind of so-called parent is he? Trying to force anyone within reach to parent his child. Get a grip or be smarter and wrap it up next time. TF. Not the asshole. What the heck? I do not understand parents that just expect other people to take care of them and their children. Hope they get out and you can use your own kitchen and living room. Not the asshole. If he's too tired from parenting to actually parent his spawn, he shouldn't have had one or should be talking to the spawn's mother about co-parenting. Under no circumstances should he assume that he has the right to use your things, or demand services from you. I could understand if he mistakenly assumed the appliances belonged to the landlord, and were there for both of you to use, but even then, as a parent, it's his responsibility to clean up after his child. As to needing a babysitter, he should have tried asking, not demanding. And if you said no, then he needs to accept it. You aren't his baby mama, you aren't his friend. You are his roommate, and under no obligation to him. Not the asshole. And what was the family emergency anyway? None of his family would babysit. Not the asshole. Laughing my ass off he's trying to break his lease because you won't look after his kid? I can't stop laughing at this. The fucking audacity. Not the asshole. This guy sounds dangerous. All the actions he committed sound highly sketchy to me and are all red flags. I would want him gone before he breaks your door down trying to come in for whatever reason he decides to make. Not the asshole. What is up with all the people in this sub trying to dump their kids onto others? This is not normal. Not the asshole. Just because you're a woman he expects you to care for his child, for free. F him. You did the right thing, shutting him down at the first incident. This type only gets worse the more you give. Keep the landlord updated on all incidents. What was the MMO event? Did it go well for you? Not the asshole. I love your response to his comment. Better luck with the next roommate. You said the problem started immediately, but it kinda reads like you were looking for the fight, who goes nuclear right off the bat when the first issue arises. Kid made a mess in the microwave and your roommate refused to clean it because he was tired. That's a sit-down talk about how you're both going to go forward with living together and setting clear boundaries. Locking all kitchen appliances you own in your room and leaving your roommate with nothing is an asshole move when they're not a single dad, let alone when they are. His actions and words going forward were deplorable and entitled, but you both kinda set the pace for it. Sorry, does anyone else think this is fake? I'm too tired from parenting. I have a kid and I don't know anyone, including myself, that has ever said it in that way, especially after our kids ruined something of someone else's. Tears of joy rolling on the floor laughing.